Well, the second nose is still printing, but let's go ahead and look at the next part, which would be fuselage 2. Now, I don't know if this is the orientation it was meant to be printed in or not, or if that's going to matter. I'm developing questions for the people. I haven't really purchased anything from them yet to deserve to ask a question, but yeah, they've got another model on their site and got some in the wings that look kind of good too. Anyway, we can already see this does not fit my Ender 3 in this orientation in any shape, form, or fashion. So if they say it has to be built in this orientation for proper strength, I'm done. I can't do it. So the only thing I can do to get it in my build area is to rotate it. So if I rotate this one 90 degrees, and start looking at it, I immediately see this ledge right here. This is not going to, it won't go that far. Oops. It won't go as far as this opening is from right here. This color scheme is bad. I wonder if I can change that. I'll try to look into that later. From this corner to this corner of this opening. There we go. Now we can see it. From this corner to this corner, I'm worried about this. I don't think that'll work. And if I do support, see, now I'm looking at having to do support. I mean, got around it on that last one. Don't think I can get around it on this one. This is just my way of thinking now. Remember, I'm novice. But if I do support, because, well, see, here's how I learn. Because support here, if I turn on support, I've got a choice of touching the build plate or everywhere. Now, because I don't really know, I know what everywhere means pretty much. It means everywhere. That means that right here where this turns, oops, keep clicking where I don't want to, where this turns right here, this arc right here, all this underneath here would be considered in need of support. Now, if you say touching the build plate, then this isn't touching the build plate. Does that mean it wouldn't get support? But this also isn't touching the build plate. That's what I need supported. So all of that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So this is, see, I have to go out and learn what touching the build plate and everywhere means in this case. And also, if you come into the more heavy or deep things on this, you can add more things to have to worry about. Support placement, I think that's where I get the everywhere and stuff. This placement can be set to touching build plate or everywhere. When set to everywhere, the support structures will also be printed on the model. Well, I hope with their touching build plate, the support structures will also be printed on the model. See, I have to learn this. Is there some more items down there I didn't see? Oh, there it is. Support horizontal expansion. So anyway, what I really need is a way to block out places I don't want the support to be. Support X and Y distance might do it. Nah, whatever. Ooh, You see, this just goes on through more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And see, they just finally we're down to build plate adhesion. Thank goodness. So you see, there's just so much tire diameter, used tires. I think what my brain is supposing I should be able to do, oops, under support. Come on. Right here, if we start right here with support and all the possible choices I can add out here to this before I do any more is a deep, deep dive. So I'm not going to do that here on the screen. You can see what my problem is. I'm going to turn it off here for a second. You can see what the problem is. This generates for me on the little Ender 3, little baby 3D printer. But if we rotate this this way, then this no longer is a problem for support. This arc right here, from right here out, this becomes a problem for support. And if we look on the inside, I don't see anything on the inside that is a problem at all. And also support of this top arc on this hull, actually the bottom arc too, and this little cut. I think that will all be taken care of, and I think the support will only be from here down over to here. I'll do tree. I think that solves my problem. And I don't have to go on that learning deep dive. Deep dive in there someplace. I should. That's the way. That's the way I would be learning Cura. 1 day, 11 hours, 56 minutes. Walls again, making sure everything is one. Oops. There we go. Walls. Infill. Oopsie. I assumed that this would come back from what I had set before, but it didn't. That's why better go through and check everything. I have to go through and check everything. I'll make that 200. Speed. That stayed for some reason. Travel I wasn't working with. Cooling. That's a default 100. Support. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go everywhere. Support structure. Okay. Tree. I use tree. I always do. See, I had to turn on support structure here in the settings to be able to get to tree here. I like tree. Build plate adhesion raft. Okay. Titan Talon. I wonder why that doesn't save that. Create code. Update profile with current settings. I hope that takes care of that. We'll see in the future. See, I'm learning. Okay, I think that's the way it needs to be. I'll face it. I'm not really lazy. That's a lot of deep learning to do right now. I'm just impatient, shall we say. This isn't slicing very quickly. These are wild prints. And this computer is, I think I've got 32 gigabytes of memory in it. Yeah. 32 gigabytes of memory, 22 gigabytes available right here, so that memory ain't the problem. What is it? CPU. And this is it ramps. It's at 4.12 gigahertz at this point on the CPU. And it's it's a i7. It's running at 3 gigahertz when it's at normal mode, but it will ramp. It'll increase that clock under a load. So it's an i7 CPU, currently working at 3.56 gigahertz with 32 gigabytes of memory. And the CPU still wants interesting sideline there. So 1 day, 18 hours, 43 minutes. And I think it will print. I don't think I have to learn anymore. I think these small things right here will span without support. Darn, I did say support everywhere. It may fill support in from the bottom of this to the top of this, and this be semi-solid in there, just the crosshatch of the fill, whichever kind is currently set. And yes, I know you can go in there and set it to be less or more. I'm not going to go that deep right now. I may have to dig some support out of those slots. I think taking it out of this hole, it may put a little bit in these holes. That may be hardest to get out of these holes than anywhere. I think it'll be easy to get off this face and out of here and off of here. I'm trying not to do it with support. Support just slows everything down. Using more filament. So there's the next one. I don't know how that's going to look when it starts printing or anything yet. That will be tomorrow. I just go in and put my space in front of what they have it saved as and save it in that subdirectory, and that's my project for the start of my build tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll start the build when I get up, and almost 2 days later, only, I'm not going to count it down to the minutes, we'll call that 19 hours, only 5 hours short of 2 days, 48 hours of build time, which I'm not complaining about. This is my Ender 3. It has nothing to do with this gentleman's design, or lady's design, this person's design. It has to do with my Ender 3, the way I have it configured, the way I've set up to print this filament, and it could all be all wet. I don't know yet. It's my first time. Leave me alone. I'm having fun. All right. So I'll probably do a little video tomorrow on how the second nose printed, or maybe later tonight. It should finish about 9 o'clock tonight, I hope. Earlier than this. It finished last night about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was dead. And then this one, of course, will begin to print, and there really won't be a whole lot to say about this one until it's the weekend. Thank you, guys.